Everyone's curious about the formula. I've reached 106 years on this earth, and people constantly ask me, Salvatore, what's the trick? How did you make it this far? What keeps that smile on your face? They expect me to mention olive oil or red wine or taking daily walks. Sure, I do those things, but that's not the formula. Want to hear what it really is? Lean in close. I'm about to share something that required a full century for me to grasp. The formula is making a choice. Day in and day out, you make that choice. Happiness isn't something that lands in your lap. Happiness is something you deliberately create. Most folks never crack this code. They sit around hoping life will deliver happiness to them. They're waiting for the perfect career, the perfect partner, the perfect circumstances, and they pass away still waiting. I refused to wait. I made my choice. That's the reason I'm still breathing, still finding reasons to smile, still thankful for each morning I get. Before you assume everything came easy for me, allow me to share what I've endured. My mother passed away when I was 5 years old, taken by tuberculosis. I can still picture her coughing up blood into that cloth. My father brought me to America back in 1928 carrying $40 and speaking zero English. I was 8 at the time, resting on a floor alongside 6 other bodies in Bensonhurst. I started working at age 10, crafting shoes next to my father until my hands were raw and bleeding. My first wife, Francesca, she was the loveliest woman my eyes had ever seen. Dark hair, emerald eyes, a voice like a melody. We shared 9 years as one, just 9 years. Then, on a single afternoon, June 14th, 1951, she climbed up to the rooftop to hang out the washing. A brain aneurysm struck. She was gone before her body touched the ground, 28 years old. I was 31, raising 2 infants with absolutely no clue how to continue. Then in 1978, my workshop went up in flames. Everything I'd constructed over 26 years vanished in a single evening. I stood out on the street watching 6 decades of my family's labor reduced to smoke and ash. I was 58 years old. I thought to myself, this is the end. This is when I surrender. So don't lecture me about difficult times. I'm intimately familiar with difficult times. But here's what I've also learned. Difficult times don't need to harden you. That's the first principle. Make note of this. Difficult times don't need to harden you. You get to decide what they transform you into. When Francesca passed, I faced a decision. I could harbor rage toward God, toward existence, toward the universe. Trust me, rage consumed me. For roughly 6 months, I was Brooklyn's most furious resident. I shouted at my customers. I shouted at my sister. Sleep escaped me. Food lost all appeal. My kids were terrified of me. Then one evening, my daughter Rosa, she was perhaps 5 years old, she approached me in tears. She asked me, Papa, why is there so much anger in you? Did I cause this somehow? Looking at this small girl, this precious small girl, who'd lost her mother, and she'd convinced herself my anger was her doing. That evening I reached a decision. I told myself, Salvatore, you can hold on to anger or you can be present for your children. Both paths aren't available to you. Francesca, may she rest peacefully. She didn't choose to marry someone consumed by rage. She married someone who brought laughter into her world. So I'm going to bring laughter to my children's lives. I'm going to celebrate her legacy by embodying the person she loved. That's exactly what I did. Not because the sadness disappeared, Sadness stayed with me daily for years ahead. But I decided that sadness wouldn't be the sole emotion my children witnessed. They would witness happiness as well. They would watch their father embrace existence. So here's the understanding I need you to grasp. You're navigating through something challenging at this moment. Perhaps you've lost somebody. Perhaps you've lost something meaningful. Perhaps life delivered a blow and you're struggling to stand again. I won't suggest you ignore the pain. Pain is real. Acknowledge it. But afterward, and this matters tremendously, afterward you make your choice. You determine what follows next. Nobody else has the authority to make that choice on your behalf. Now allow me to tell you about Margaret. I've reached 70 years. I haven't shared my life with a woman in nearly 40 years. I attend a church potluck gathering. The sole reason I showed up was the lasagna. I'm being completely honest. Then I noticed this woman on the opposite side of the room. She's laughing about something. Her entire expression radiates light. I think to myself, that's the most stunning sight I've witnessed in 40 years. Her name was Margaret Washington. She was black. She was 62. She'd retired from nursing. When I made my way over to speak with her, half the gathering stopped their meals to observe. An elderly Italian man and a black woman in 1990, Brooklyn. Dear God, the stares we received. My own son, Marco, he refused to communicate with me for 2 full years after I married her. 2 complete years. He claimed I was dishonoring his mother's legacy. He claimed the community was gossiping. You know my response. I said, Marco, my love for you is genuine. But I endured 40 years of solitude. I'm 70 years old. I've discovered someone who brings me joy. If the community objects, the community can go straight to hell. That's principle number 2. Write this down. Abandon your concern for others' judgments. Eventually, and I pray it arrives before you reach 70, you discover that other people's judgments hold no power to harm you. Only you possess the power to harm yourself by accepting them as truth. Margaret and I, we shared 33 years together. 33 remarkable years. She departed last January during her sleep, 95 years old. I stayed beside her, holding her hand through the entire night. I feel her absence every single day. But you know something? She would harbor such anger toward me if I abandoned laughter. She'd tell me, Salvatore, don't you dare spend your time drowning in self-pity. We experienced 33 years together. That exceeds what most people receive. She's absolutely correct. So I continue laughing in her honor. You're curious what brings me happiness these days. I'll share it with you. Morning coffee, sunlight streaming through the glass. My great-granddaughter, Isabella. She reaches out to me every Sunday. The flavor of quality bread, Italian melodies playing, a comfortable bed, a person I've never met who offers me a smile while passing. That's everything. That's my complete inventory. A yacht holds no appeal. A grand estate holds no appeal. Nothing I lack holds any appeal. Here's the formula within the formula. I was capable of experiencing this happiness at 30, at 40, at 50, but I remained too occupied pursuing matters of no significance. I remained too occupied worrying, too occupied living in fear. Principle number 3, and this carries the greatest weight. Happiness isn't located at the completion of something. It's not there waiting when you land the job, the property, the wealth, the whatever else. Happiness exists right here at this moment, within the possessions you currently hold. But your eyes must be open to perceive it. Most folks walk directly past it every single day. So this evening, after you've finished watching this video, I want you to take an action. Sit yourself down, observe your surroundings. Identify 3 items that inspire gratitude within you. Not grand items, modest items. How your dog gazes at you, your children's laughter echoing. The reality that breathing requires no conscious effort. Begin with those. Gratitude functions like a muscle. Daily exercise is required. If you commit to this, I give you my word. Your existence will transform. I've reached 106 years. I lost my mother at 5. I lost my first wife at 31. I lost my workshop at 58. I lost Margaret last year. Logic suggests I should be the world's most miserable person, but that's not my reality, because each morning when I wake I say, Grazie, God. Gratitude for another day. What will we create with it? That's the formula. That's the complete formula. You select happiness. Each and every day you select it. Not because existence is simple. Existence is demanding. Not because negative events never occur. Negative events occur constantly. You select happiness because the other option is suffering. And suffering represents a squandering of whatever time remains available to you. My mother had a saying, and this memory persists even though I was merely 5. She would say, Salvatore, la vita è bella se la guardi bene. Existence becomes beautiful when your perspective is correct. Comprehension eluded me at 5. Comprehension eluded me at 30 or 50, or even at 70. But presently, at 106, comprehension has finally arrived. Existence is beautiful, not without flaws beautiful. Accompanied by all the suffering, all the losses, all the difficult periods, beautiful. You only receive one. So abandon your waiting to experience happiness. Abandon your waiting for everything to achieve perfection. Select happiness now, today, while you still possess the ability to select it. That's the formula. Now go embrace life.